welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and kudos to you for having multiple witnesses today with affiliation with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Brilliant move, brilliant move. You can tell when there's 120 pages of testimony submitted that MIT folks are involved. California prides itself in having one of the lowest emitting cement factories in the country located in Redding, California. We're also home to 4 startups in a network of 10 companies referred to as DC2 that are committed to going even further by making cement and concrete with no or very low emissions. However, as I've discussed at previous hearings, most current tax credits reward companies that first emit and then capture their emissions, but not as much for companies that are lowering or eliminating their emissions altogether. My first question is for Dr. Ellis. As a member of the DC2 Alliance, can you speak to your company's experience with the current tax incentives like sections 45Q, which I think has been raised already, and 48C, and the agencies that developed and oversee them?
Thank you so much. This is a really important question. Right now, there is no tax credit available for technologies that avoid the manufacture of carbon. Sublime Systems submitted a concept paper for 48C, and we were discouraged from the full application. 45Q creates perverse incentives. Sublime System could manufacture carbon and monetize it by using limestone as an input material from our cement. But we believe that's wrong to do. That's not very forward-looking, and it's the wrong use of this tax credit. Instead, the Congress and the Treasury should consider technology-agnostic tax incentive to reward the avoidance of carbon as much as it does for carbon production, capture, and storage.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's my translation. Second question is for Dr. Rajitsky. You were involved in the Sierra Club study of cement factories in California and other states. What lessons did you learn regarding innovations in decarbonizing cement and concrete at factory scale?
Thank you for the question, Senator. This was a really groundbreaking study that was conducted because of the facility level data that it provides. Of course, these are just estimates. These are actually very difficult numbers to get to have production data from facilities. But what these estimates start providing us is to really have a granular view of the performance of different facilities. So we can get an idea of what the average performance is, how well the top performing facilities are doing, and how well the bottom performing facilities are doing. And these are all existing facilities. So by looking at that difference, you can see what's already possible, even just using the best available technology today, and where those kind of near-term emissions reductions are possible. And so this study has really been able to showcase this in cement, as well as a handful of other sectors. And it really showcases the usefulness of this type of data. And just to bring this back to a conversation we had earlier in the hearing, I mentioned this is difficult data to come by. The US government actually has all of the data to come up with these numbers in existing reporting. The census has these production numbers from these facilities, but of course it's kept very confidential for good reason. But the Prove It Act that we've discussed earlier would actually start enabling the sharing of this type of data between government agencies so that the government can start seeing what these emissions are, get the averages, and all of that as well.
Thank you. One more question, Mr. Chair. This builds on an item that Senator Whitehouse raised earlier in the hearing. Looking ahead to COP28 this month, it's important to consider the global scale needed for industrial decarbonization as countries around the world increase their demand for concrete and other building materials. So for Dr. Ellis, Sublime has a goal of producing 1 million tons of concrete by 2028. Very laudable. But in the United States alone, our demand exceeds 100 million tons. So how can we help scale up low and no carbon emission concrete companies to the level needed to effectively supply the national and global market?
Thank you, Senator. The Office of Clean Energy Demonstration combined with the Low Programs Office is an excellent first start. If we're successful in applying these two programs, it will support us through a phase of growth where we can achieve economies of scale and reduce costs so we can compete on cost with today's carbon-intensive Portland cement. These programs need robust support beyond these initial appropriations. Also, as Senator Markey said earlier, if we move quickly to create government advanced market commitments, since the government buys 60% of the concrete used in the United States, if we move quickly with these advanced market commitments to bring these clean technologies to scale, we can move to export these technologies to the rest of the world where new greenfield cement plants will be built in a period of dirty growth in India and in Africa and in places where the world's population is growing and becoming more urban. So we have an opportunity to act now to prevent decades more CO2 emissions from these carbon-intensive industries.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your leadership. Thank you, Mr. Chair.